We've continued our way north from Hutt Lagoon and made our way to Lucky Bay, about 35 minutes south of Kalbarri, where the full experience involves getting bogged, amazing wildlife encounters, 5-star beachfront camping and incredible WA sunsets. Strap in, guys, this one's going to be a beauty.
We just come across another family that we've met just at Hutt Lagoon. Actually, we had a bit of a yarn to them, and they've got their caravan here. They're just having that trouble that all caravans have. Once you get into soft, sandy tracks, trying to then reverse back out because they've overcommitted is much harder to do, because when you're trying to reverse a caravan, it just wants to jackknife. So the plan is we're just going to dig them out a little bit, go forward so they can straighten up, see how they go reversing. We were going to lend them our treads as well. Simon's giving them a hand on the shovel. And then the plan from there is, if that doesn't work, then we will hook our car up to them and help them reverse backwards so that their van stays straight, and then find another way through.
Right hand down, you're right. Keep going. Yep. Left, left. Yep. That's it. You're on the hard now anyway, you can calm down. Yeah. You let that adrenaline stop now.
We're out! How you feeling?
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, happy about that. They're lucky they're subscribers and they qualified for a recovery. Alright, well, we got our mates, new mates. We only just met those guys in town today. No, not even in town. It was at Port Gregory when we were looking at the Pink Lake. They got themselves in a bit of mischief going down the wrong track onto the beach, but I think they'll be right now. We got them out of there. They can come down the way we came. So last time we were here, about 2 years ago, there was no one camping down on the beach, and now there's caravans everywhere. I think it's that thing of once one person does it, everyone else sees that it's possible, and then heaps more come down here. Apparently the locals that live in or use the holiday shacks here aren't too stoked with the idea, but yeah, I mean, they don't own the beach, do they? So here we are, just making the decision whether we're going to come down here or not. I don't know, jury's still out. We'll talk about it a bit more. We're definitely not going to come down here today.
The door's open, right?
Hang on, James. It's almost 3 o'clock already, so we're not going to come down here today with the van, but we'll just have a bit of a swim, catch up with our mates Andrew and Bryony, who are here with their van. But the cool spot about Lucky Bay here is this massive lagoon. So there's a bit of a reef about 100 metres, or probably less than 100 metres off the beach, and it creates this awesome lagoon, especially at low tide. So it's a great spot for kids to swim and hang out. Rumours are there's some fishing here too. I wouldn't know anything about that. And last time I was here, I tried my hand at trying to hand catch some crays, very unsuccessfully. If you haven't seen that, I'll link that in the description below. You can go and watch that video. I was here with a couple of other mates. We didn't have any luck at all.
Still entertaining though.
It was very entertaining, yeah, and kept us busy for a couple of days. But I don't know that I'll worry about that this time, because old mate at the Geraldton boat ramp gave me a couple of crays, so winning saved me a lot of hassle there. All right, time to jump out and go and enjoy the water for a bit. Well, in case you didn't work it out, it didn't take too much arm twisting. After we spent an afternoon down here with our mates just chilling out on the beach, we knew we had to do our best to try and get our caravan down here the next day.
Morning. Today's mission is to get the van onto the beach. It's been a long time since I've been nervous about a track. This track is particularly soft, it's sandy, there's sand dunes you have to climb over. We're fully loaded at the moment. It's the most heavy we're ever going to be. It's always fraught with challenges, and you see people getting bogged around you, you're like, oh. But on the flip side, it's early in the morning, we're all well rested, we're not in a hurry, we've got all day to dig ourselves out, we've got recovery gear if we need it, we've got friends on the beach who've got trucks, we've got 2 trucks to pull us out if we need to. So I know we'll be fine, but it's just, I don't know, there's something nerve-wracking about taking you home over a sand dune and onto a beach. How are you feeling, Dale?
I think if you weren't a little bit nervous or a little bit anxious about taking your home and your vehicle onto the beach, then there's something wrong with you. it's always good to be adventurous, but yeah, I love it, but it's still a little bit nerve-wracking. Just got to remind yourself we've done everything. We've got all the prep, we've got friends on the beach who can help us if we need it, but I really don't think we will. Yeah, tyres are down, car's in four-wheel drive, just send it, see what happens.
What do you reckon the chances of us getting bogged are?
Oh, I never rule it out. Yeah, it's probably a good chance, but I also know how to get out of sand. As long as we stay above the high tide mark, there'll be no stress.
All right, let's get our home on the beach, hey? Let's go hang out with our friends. Do you flush us?
No matter how long we travel Australia for, it is always nerve-wracking to take your caravan down onto a beach, and this one was a bit of a doozy. We knew that other people had been bogged, and so this silence isn't because our microphone is broken. This is because the two of us are smiling through gritted teeth as we make our way through the dune and get down onto the beach. It is a massive relief to make it through that soft sand and get down onto the firmer sand down by the beach, but it's not over yet. We've still got a couple of Ks to head north up the beach to try and get to the campsite where we want to spend the next few nights. So it's heading further up the beach and trying to not get bogged. This can be a bit tricky as you're trying to pick a path through the beach while trying to keep your momentum up. We do know of a few people that got bogged down here on the beach, but at the end of the day, like we said, we knew we had everything we needed to get recovered if we needed to. But what an awesome view this is. It is just such a cool part of the world here to be able to camp on the beach with the dunes right behind us like this. As we made our way right up to the top end of the beach, it was the final stretch up onto the sand to get to our campsite that brought us undone. Just had not quite enough momentum here and just ran out of momentum. I decided to pull it up before I dug ourselves in too deep, so the recovery shouldn't be too difficult.
Now we're bogged.
And we're bogged.
Parked, I think the term is.
We've had a lot of people ask how many recovery boards should you carry on your travels. Well, I would say at least 4. But if you've got people nearby, like we have in this situation, you can borrow a couple of extra boards to chuck under. It is well worth it. Even though you've only got 4 tyres on the vehicle, being able to throw a couple of extra boards under the back of the caravan and a few extras out front for the car to get even more momentum as it gets going makes a massive difference, especially when you are towing. Well, that looks like that'll about do us. That's about as far as we're going to make it, so that'll do for camp.
We made it! Oh, I'm stoked. Have a go at these views out my windows. Honestly, so good. Ocean views out the front, sand dunes out the back. I'm happy. This will do nicely. This will do, I tell you what, after last couple of weeks of just sort of milling around, trying to get from point A to point B, avoiding the chaos of school holidays, it's so nice to just set up somewhere that's at a decent, affordable price. It's not going to, it's not $40 a night for a gravel pit, basically, with no facilities. This is, $15 a night for our family. Beachfront camping. Happy days. All right, I'm going to rip in, make second coffee, and then going to go for a swim. I can feel that water calling my name. The wind looks good, and I know I just need to make the most of it while the weather's good.
We're running a little bit low on water, so we're going to run the desal while we're here. It's a really good spot for the desal because it's a nice protected beach. Because one of the challenges we've come across with the desal is getting a good source of salt water is not as easy as a fly. It's seriously, as soon as you turn the camera on, there's one fly on this beach at the moment and it's flying around the camera. He's getting a good source of seawater because obviously a lot of beaches and stuff, you've got breaking surf and stuff, and it's hard to get seawater that's not full of silt and everything. So here's a really good spot for it. You're gonna fill up the 100 litre bladder in the car and then take it up to the van and run it through the desal. That's the plan anyway. See how we go. What are you doing, mister? Yeah.
This one's for the stripping it out of the ocean.
What's that?
What many fish go with it?
Oh, I have to filter the fish out, you reckon?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try not to suck up any fish then. It's another nice calm morning out here this morning. There's a couple of dolphins just come into the lagoon. Looks like a mum and calf playing around, maybe hunting some fish and stuff. Apparently there's been some bigger pods coming in before we got here that some other people were telling us, but these are the first ones we've seen. It looks like just a mum and calf for now, but I think it's a calf. Is that what a baby dolphin's called? A calf? Hopefully we see a few more, but for now we'll just check out mum and baby chasing some fish around. Up and running, making fresh water. So if you didn't see, we did this in Albany, tested out the detail and got it up and running, and this is the first time we've really used it when we needed it rather than just testing it, which is pretty exciting. We're running it under 100 parts per million of salt, which under 500 is safe drinking water, so that's really low. At the moment I'm doing it in a similar way to what I did at Albany, where I'm just recirculating it through the bladder, just trying to get maximum yield out of the salt water. Rather than just letting all the waste go to ground and then we have to go and pump more salt water. So because we have to transfer the salt water up to the van, it's just way more convenient to recirculate it as many times as we can and get as much out of it as we can before we go and get more. So at the moment we're just going into a jerry can because I haven't plumbed it to our tanks or anything, but I kind of like that because it keeps it separate. So if we do have any issues or anything, we can test the water before we put it into our tanks. It's pretty easy to transfer it from our jerry cans into our tanks afterwards. And if you see us in England or somewhere, maybe we'll be selling jerry cans full of water. Who knows? We'll see. But for now, yeah, we're just going to try and make a couple of jerry cans. It also makes it easier for me to measure how much water we're producing out of the amount of seawater that we've got. So far so good. We'll see how much water we get. A quick cut to real time. So in that footage that I showed there at Lucky Bay when we were running the desal, I couldn't really get an accurate indication of how much power it was using. It was a bit of a guess because of the way our submarine and the caravan's configured. I can't see individual loads. So I thought, we're just running it here. This is us in the future in YouTube world. We're at 14 Mile up at Ningaloo and we're just running the desal again, just making some water before we hit the road. And I thought I'd run it off the Blue Eddy so that I can see, because it's the only thing running off it, I can see exactly how much it's using. So at the moment we're running the small inline pump up to the pressure washer through the desal. Just the pump that we've got for the desal doesn't have much lifting pressure to be able to lift water up into the van. So I'm just pumping it through the little inline pump just to boost the pump up there. And overall we're using a little under 1400 watts of power. So at 12 volt, that's going to be around 120 amps, something like that. But that's with both pumps running, so it's more power than we thought. We were hoping it was going to be around the 100 amps. It's probably closer to 120. But the cool thing about this is now where we are at the moment, this is a better idea of how it will work without having to transport water to the van and then desal it at the van and then go and get more water, because we're able to pump straight from the lagoon here and through the desal. So this is a lot more viable running it this way. This is the AC240, this Blue Eddy, so it's the more water resistant, dust proof one that they've just brought out. So it's a lot less nerve-wracking having this sitting down on the beach than some of the other ones. It's just a lot more rugged and durable. And it's cool because even though it's down here on the beach and I'm up there, I've got the app, the Blue Eddy app on my phone, so I can monitor the power while I'm monitoring the gauges and everything on the desal. I'm able to check and monitor the power through the app on my phone. So if you haven't seen any of our previous episodes, this is a desalination unit, so it makes fresh water from seawater, similar to what the marine industry uses in yachts and things like that. Through a reverse osmosis membrane, we can convert seawater to fresh water, working out at around 60 litres an hour at about 120 amps of power an hour. It's bloody awesome. This is what we designed when we installed this system. This region from sort of Lucky Bay at Kalbarri right up to pretty much Exmouth is where we came up with the idea originally 2 years ago and where we envisaged using it the most. And so far it's been an absolute godsend, and it's going to save us a stack of money in fuel and a stack of money in buying water, because Coral Bay and Exmouth, you have to pay for the water. This way we can make it for free, utilising the sun, utilising the solar system in our caravan to make fresh water for free, and I don't have to drive anywhere to get it. It means now we don't have to have that difficult choice of, do we do a supply run back to town, spend a few hours and a few $100 on fuel
to be able to stay longer in these awesome beachfront campsites, or do we have to just leave because we've run out of water? So being able to stay here now pretty well as long as we want until we run out of food is just awesome. And even if you were going to do a supply run back to Exmouth or Coral Bay, depending how much water you can carry in your vehicle, for us we'd only be able to carry 140 litres. So you'd be doing one of those supply runs probably a couple of times a week, or at least once a week. That really starts to add up. So this way we can extend that out to 3-4 weeks at a time, whatever our food lasts, and just makes the whole thing so much more enjoyable, even with the flies. It's been a long time coming and a lot of planning and sort of ironing out the kinks, but we're this close to this being a really viable system. But a bit more on that when you catch up to us in real time here at 14 Mile.
Alright, for lunch today we're going to cook up those crays that Simon got from a couple of fishermen at the Geraldton boat ramp. Word on the street is, from people who know how to catch crayfish, is that cook them in salt water. So Simon's just gotten himself a bucket of salt water from the ocean just there. I'm just going to boil them up for lunch, see how this goes. How's the flies on your face, Dale?
So many flies.
Do you love
on
just
the lens?
being...
Look at that, right in the middle of the lens.
Do you love just being out in the weather?
I actually don't mind the flies. Like,
oh, God.
you get used to them, like anything, I reckon. If you just put up with them for a bit, they just stop annoying you. I think of it like a battle, you know, like I don't want to let the flies win. They're such a tiny little creature. Like if they beat me, I think that says more about me than the flies. So I'm just gonna, make it me that wins. Something like that, anyway. It's only because it's such a cracking day, there's no wind, and that means there's flies. But when the wind picks up, it's not as good on the water, but there's no flies, so.
This is you out in the elements, enjoying life, Dol.
I want to be less comfortable, Liz.
This is you.
I want to be less comfortable, and this is less comfortable. So I'm even working on my laptop outside. This is our biggest pot, so we're doing our best.
I reckon if we got into fishing, we'd need a bigger pot.
It's just another reason not to get into fishing. This is the first time I've ever cooked crayfish. I have no idea what I'm doing, but they look cooked. So some people just cut them down the middle and then try and break the back of them. I'm just gonna do it a slightly different way and cut down the edge. If you can get in there and break those. Cut down sort of the side of the tail. And then the same on the other side without stabbing yourself. And then you can sort of peel this away and all that comes with it. And that takes out the digestive tract. And then you can get your thumb in here apparently. So says the YouTube video I watched. And sort of ease the meat out like that. And that's where our cray meat is.
Good.
Ready? I'm gonna put bocconcini on some of them. Put a bit of cheese on these ones for the boys. This will be delicious.
A year ago, we did a crayfish pizza, and we were sort of thinking it'd be nice to do a crayfish pizza, but we don't have a Weber anymore, so we don't really do pizza anymore. So what we're doing instead is like a sort of like a quesadilla basically, but a wrap folded in half, toasted with some yummy stuff in it. So
Just sell it. Just sell it.
I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like exquisite primo Mexican fiesta. See how it is, eh? I just don't think I'm the biggest fan of crayfish, maybe. I don't know. You should try it, see what you think. But it's just a flavour that I haven't eaten much, and I just don't really rate it as a seafood compared to scallops or prawns or oysters.
I don't know what they're on about. I reckon it's good. I reckon it tastes great. It's like herby, buttery, oily crayfish with a bit of salad. Like, job done. You're all a bunch of fusspots, I tell you what.
We spent the afternoon chilling out and just enjoying the scenery. It's just such a cool spot here to be able to just hang out and chill and enjoy some time with some fellow travellers. But just tucked up behind us was those sand dunes, and I could not help myself. We had to get ourselves in the car and head up to the top of the dunes to enjoy one of WA's iconic sunsets.
Sitting there on the edge, babe, not knowing which way to lean.
This is pretty cool. This is sick. I've never driven on sand dunes before. This is like, it kind of reminds me of snowboarding. And like, you got the choice of following where everyone else has gone or going for fresh tracks. Guess which one we're doing.
Tripping all over you. Tripping all over me.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button just down below the video. That really does help us out a lot. And if you're watching on your TV, you can always jump on your phone and look the video up and give us a like and subscribe. It really does make a big difference, and we do appreciate all of you that do that. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Dollar, I need.
Okay. What's your assessment? Should we bring the van down here or not?
Right, I think we've got a lot to talk about before then.
I don't know what you call it.
You're gonna have to clean that fridge out. It's full of crayfish juices.
That sounds delightful.
That one's quite erect. What did you say?
Why do we say old mate so many times?
Why do we see old mate so many times?
Yeah.
It's not always the same person. Old mate isn't always the same person. It's sometimes different people. I just said, oh, look, there's old mate. Jane said, how come we keep running into old mate and see him so many times? They're different people, mate.
You can't go down there, though.
Find a way out of here, yeah?
Caught behind